everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in February. There's 5 of them, and 4 of them were 3 stars and 1 of them was a 5-star. So I'm just going to start with the 3 stars and work my way up to the 5-star one. So the first one that I have here is Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill. This has got a lot of really positive hype. Everybody who's read it seems to have given it a 5-star review. Unfortunately, I wasn't too impressed by this. I really enjoyed Louise O'Neill's second book, which was Asking For It, which I read in December, I think, and I loved that one. But this one, it just didn't really do it for me. I found it very, very YA. I normally really enjoy YA, but a lot of the references in this I found very young. Not as in young as in I don't understand the references, but young as in the fact that I feel like it just didn't have the thought into it that I've enjoyed with other dystopian novels. Saying that though, it still really was quite an interesting read. I mean, it did get 3 stars, but it wasn't something that I really was fascinated by or that I found truly believable. There were certain references in this that drew me out of the story and made me remember I was reading a book, which is not what I enjoy doing. I like to sort of be really invested in the story, but the pop culture references in this I found just tore away from the story a little bit, and I didn't really find the characters develop very well. So I mean, to me it was a little bit of a miss. Next up I read The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. This is the 40th anniversary edition, so he has actually gone back in and changed a little bit. I haven't actually read the original, so I don't know what he's changed, but at the beginning he discusses the things that he's gone in and done. So he's changed a little bit of dialogue, I think, and he's added in a couple of different scenes or one extra scene or something that makes the ending more apparent. So that's what it says at the beginning. I thought I'd give this a go because I watched the film years ago and it really scared me, but so I thought maybe the book would be really good. And again, I mean, I wasn't really too scared by this. It was interesting, but it certainly wasn't terrifying. It says the most terrifying novel ever written. Yeah, I mean, I was more scared of the cover than the actual writing, so it wasn't really scary enough for me. But one of the things that really put me off was the dialogue between characters. It was quite confusing. You'll have a list of dialogue, but then halfway through the characters will change order of who's speaking, and it can be a little bit confusing as to who's actually speaking. And there's a lot of tangents, and the lead detective is a little bit Columbo-esque, in my opinion anyway. So I mean, I know a lot of people love this, and it just wasn't really for me. I don't know if it's a little bit dated or what, but it wasn't really for me. Saying that, I did give it 3 stars. Next up I've got Stalked by Kate Brennan. I featured this in my rereads of 2016 video, where I talked about books that I've read in the past that I thought I might revisit because I couldn't really remember them. This was one of them. It's the true life story of a woman, Kate Brennan, who is stalked. By the title, it kind of gives it away. Kate meets a businessman, she's wooed, and they start to date, but then she starts to realise that perhaps she actually doesn't really like him that much and goes to break up with him, as many relationships end. But unfortunately her boyfriend isn't ready to let go of her, and stalks her, really going to some bizarre lengths to find out exactly where Kate is. It's pretty unnerving. It's and it's a very interesting life story. I would have liked to have heard more about her experiences, if that would be my criticism, because I found a lot of it was she's peppered it quite heavily with her experiences with a psychiatrist. So it's got a lot of self-analysis in here about why she allowed this to happen to herself and sort of things like that, which I think sort of detracted a little bit from the story, because obviously picking up a novel like this, you're interested in hearing someone's experiences with something so horrible, and maybe how she triumphed, or maybe what actually happened in the end. Did he go to prison? Did he get caught? Those sort of things. But I found that a lot of it was sort of delving into Kate's past, but just sort of scratching the surface as to why perhaps she'd allowed a man to dominate her life, but personally I don't think that you can attribute past experiences to actually becoming stalked, because that is totally out of your control, and that is actually the problem of the person who is stalking you, not your problem. So I mean, it was that sort of let it down a little bit, which I think is why, again, this is another 3-star read. Next we've got The Sisters, and that's by Claire Douglas. This is basically a girl has lost her twin sister, she's died, and the girl is on a little bit of a downward spiral, and she moves from London to Bath to get away from the past and all the trauma surrounding her sister's death. She meets a woman called Bee and Bee's circle of friends, and she gets sort of drawn into them, and the story just goes from there, really. Again, I didn't really enjoy this that much. There were quite a few dodgy similes that I found a little bit off, and I didn't find the story gripping until you got right near the end, and then once I got to the end I was gripped, and then the very last page just dropped it for me. I was debating giving this 2 stars, but I went for 3 in the end, but I really probably put this at a 2.5. It just wasn't very enjoyable. So that's The Sisters. And finally, my little shameful 5-star is Holly Madison's Down the Rabbit Hole. If you don't know Holly Madison, she was one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends, and along with 2 other women, she starred in the TV series The Girls Next Door, which was based on life at the mansion. So I really enjoyed that years ago. I do like a little bit of reality TV, so I enjoyed that, and so when she brought out this book, I was really interested to find out what she had to say about life with Hugh Hefner. She's very honest. She goes into pretty much everything that you could possibly want to know in a tell-all style situation, and I found this a page turner. A lot of criticism that I've seen for this is that she seems very disgruntled, she seems a little bit jaded, and it seems a little bit like a poison pen, but at the same time it's hugely entertaining. And if you're into reality, this is definitely one for you. And if you're interested to find out what goes on at the mansion and what it's like to date Hugh Hefner and be one of his girlfriends, and what it's like when you leave that sort of, I wouldn't call it a safety net from what she says in the book, but they are sort of financially secure and things like that, living at the mansion, what it's like to transition from that back into the real world. This is a one for you. It's catty, it's bitchy, it's a tell-all, it's amusing, and I loved it. So that's 5-star for me. So I hope you enjoyed that wrap up, and if you've read any of those, do let me know in the comments section below. And if you don't already follow me, please do, and you can also give me a thumbs up if you like as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.